Welcome back. I hope you had a fun day today. Maybe today you had a chance to play outside. Maybe you had a sprinkler going, you had to run around underneath it, or maybe you were splashing in a creek, or maybe you went and were swimming in a swimming pool. Today's story is it's about water. It's about something that happened at a kind of big swimming pool section of the Jordan River where people could go down into the water and they could walk around a little bit and come back up out again. And it's about the man that we've been talking about, actually two that we've been talking about, two cousins. One was named John, and the other, his name begins with a J too. You got it, Jesus. John was hanging out at the Jordan River around the edge, and there were crowds that had come out to hear what he had to say. And what he was doing was telling people about how God was going to be sending somebody to help them and to make things good and to sort of set the world right. And the word they used for that was a Messiah. And he was out there telling people that the Messiah was getting closer. And as he would do that, people were saying, oh, well, we want to be ready for that when it comes. And so they were letting John dip them under the water as a way of saying, okay, we're going to let God wash our sins away. We're going to begin this new life. And as they did that, there were all these crowds. And John looked up as he was doing it, and he saw somebody on the riverbank that he recognized. And he went over and they started talking. It was Jesus that he saw. And Jesus said, John, I want you to baptize me too. And John thought, wait a minute, there's something, that's backwards. In fact, he told Jesus, he said, that is backwards, you should be baptizing me. I'm not worthy to tie your sandals onto your feet. I'm the best I'm doing here. I'll tie your shoes for you. Do something like that, because you're the one that's going to be doing all this sort of stuff. You're the one who should be in charge, not me. That's not an easy thing to say, especially if you're somebody like John, who I think really did kind of like being in charge of things. But he knew that Jesus was the one that God wanted. Well, Jesus insisted. He said, John, I know what you're saying, but just let's do it this way. I want to do what's right. And John baptized Jesus. Jesus didn't want to be kind of saying, okay, there are all those people that need the help. These are all those people that need to say that they want their life to be right. Because his life was already right. I mean, he didn't sin. And so, but he didn't want to kind of live in a way that says, well, I'm better than you are. Huh. No. He was just a down-to-earth, normal person who knew what God wanted of him and did it. That's what made him so special. And after Jesus was baptized, God's Spirit appeared in the form of a dove. It was like heaven opened and a dove came down, which is a beautiful, beautiful animal. It came down from heaven and it landed on Jesus. And God's voice spoke from heaven, and John and Jesus both heard it. He said to Jesus, you're my son. I love you and I'm pleased with you. It was God telling Jesus that he was doing things the right way, by being humble, by thinking of other people, by not trying to make himself obviously great. He was great, but it was a different kind of greatness. It wasn't the kind that says, I get to go first. I get the bigger piece of cake. I want pepperoni. You can have mushroom. It was the kind of greatness that says, I care about what happens to other people. Yeah, it's all right. You go ahead of me. It's fine. Um, mushroom isn't all that bad. And that was the kind of greatness that God was looking for. And when Jesus went to John, that's the kind of greatness that he showed. And so God's own Spirit came on Jesus and said, yep, you're doing it right. And let me help you keep doing it. That kind of help is important to have. And it's there for you too. Think about what it would mean for you to be great. Because, you have potential to be great as you grow up. It might not mean that you're on the front page of the paper. Might not mean that you're on Twitter all the time. But really, really great and doing things that make a big difference in people's lives. That, I think, is something that everybody can expect of you. So, as you drift off to sleep tonight, think about ways you might do that. Ways that you can be great. And maybe ways that you already are. And tomorrow is another story. Another story will be tomorrow. I'll see you then.